Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to ORL F2 Split. We are here at Singapore at the round number 17 in the 13th season. And yeah, we are here in the Singapore Street Circuit, another one of the few street circuits we have. Well, with Vietnam, we got another one on our calendar today. Or this year. Not Unreal Fun, unfortunately, but at least in the game. And speaking of the game, it's just loading up, and hopefully we will soon be able to get into qualifying. Um, let's take a quick look at our competitors today. We got well, most of the people should be known to you. Let me just switch into the game real quick, and we can share this. Well, most of the drivers are common names here in the F2 split. We got Get Own promoted into the A split as last time. I think he'll stay there probably. And also our last time winner HYPERX is also racing in the A split today, as far as I'm informed. But we will be racing with 19 drivers today, nearly a full grid, just one driver missing. And well, we all already have our drivers to look out for. We have Daniel Velle, who's currently net leading the championship, because technically Ghetto is still in front, but if he changes to the A split, well, he doesn't really drive anymore in split B. The first few drivers are getting out there on a track and getting their first laps in. We also got here Top Tom. Top Tom wasn't there the last race, and I think the race before he retired, exactly. But Top Tom has already won 2 Grand Prix, if I'm informed correctly. Yes, he did. He does. And he's now back on the grid. So there's another competitor for the podium places today. Of course, joining us for the second time is Dave Gaming. After, well, a bit of a freaky debut. A lot of unfortunate things happened last time. It wasn't the best start, but well, you can. I think you can only make it better this time. Hopefully, at least. And yeah, we are seeing the first guys out there. Of course, it's a night race, and we are here in the qualifying also at night. And I am wondering one thing. Lucho is out there on intermediate tires, and I don't understand why. There's literally no real reason for that. But, well, it's a driver's choice. Now he's getting in instantly. Something was really wrong, set up wrong there, so yeah, what else driver we've got Arson Cardinal, Flexus Marcy, Black Panther, of course. Then we've got Pitchcoff, Dylan Till. I think Till was on the podium once too. Yes, he was last time round, and at least what this standings say. Don't know why I should remember that. I commentated last week. And in Azerbaijan, so another street circuit where he finished first. He won this Grand Prix. He didn't start another race, so this is basically just his third race now. But with 2 podiums in 2 races, we gotta expect something from him. And yeah, then we have Weres. Also, I think somebody who's looking for a podium. As far as I'm concerned, unfortunately, I can't really find. Either I'm just blind, or well, there it is. Why didn't I? Why didn't that work? Well, Weres did get a podium once, so maybe another competitor for the podium places. Well, we have enough already because we have their top Tom Daniel Valet and as I said Till maybe, and well, that's already 3 of them. That's a podium. Well, there's only place for 3 of the drivers. But in the meantime, while talking about the drivers, we got our first time, a 1:35.9, and I have been a lazy boy and did not look up the quickest times, but I'm sure this won't be the provisional pole time. Exactly, there we go. The track is doable way faster. Arson Cardenov setting a 1:34.56. I think that's more of what we can expect from the drivers here. And we got also the first times of Complacency, Dave Gaming, and Courtsy, which are all in the 1:35s or 36s. And in terms of strategy, we have, yeah, mostly a common idea among the field. They're all heading for the soft tires in the Grand Prix, and let's see what the choice later on will be. But in the meantime, let's pick ourselves. Wrong buttons. Using wrong buttons is always not the best idea if you want to show some hot laps. So the only 2 guys on an out lap are the F1 kid and Eagle, and well, all of the other drivers already did 1 lap because their tires are already a lap old. So there's not much to talk about at the moment. Everyone's kind of coming in. Dylan invalidated this lap, but that's for sure just because he isn't driving seriously. And he's heading back into the pits exactly, and I am just waiting for exactly Eagle to come around the last corner of the circuit, so maybe we can get a bit of an overview of what Singapore looks like. So, getting into the first corner, we got this bit of a chicane section with a kind of hairpin followed by this, and then going through a curvy straight. Oh, and Eagle nearly losing it there on the back end. Going onto the longest straight on the circuit. It got a, well, good right bend. You have to be careful through that, especially when overtaking. It's, well, a bit common to switch the sides for that because it's just a bit faster to go around with less steering than steering more and losing a bit more speed. Then after this, of course, the 90-degree left, 90-degree right, and the 90-degree left, and then we got this wavy section, which is always a bit fun, but also a bit crazy to drive because it's that quick that you need to brake instinctively at the right point, and it is also not much braking there. And then finally, closing in on the end, we're going to a lot of left, right, left, right, and over again combinations. And here with the one and only bridge in F1 track, and at least in the current F1 track calendar. And Eagle goes over the line with a 1:42.9. That was not a hot lap, but even though the lap wasn't that fast, we were nearly getting along with the track's layout. So let's see who's else on the out lap. We've got Toe6 out there, currently in 4th, looking to improve his time. Also just starting his lap. Maybe we can get a look again at the track here. This a bit wavy straight, then going onto the main straight, and here you want to keep on the left to go on the right in the bend, and then, well, drive a bit to the middle, but not too much, because you want to brake on the right side for the next left bend, after that for the right bend, and then another left turn, all about 90 degrees, another fairly long straight, and there we go through this quite kinky section. First corner's pretty fast, second one you have to brake a little more for, and then we go into this left-hander where you really need to shift down the gears down into third, almost a hairpin there. And then, oh, a big lock-off on toe sticks. That's not going to be a good time from him. And trying to spin it around. Definitely no damage there on the wings. And trying to continue as fast as possible. But of course, let's look at the other times set in the meantime. We got Polyakov in the 134.9s, as well as one kit. And Arsen Kardanov is still holding his 134.5. Even though he's just trying to improve that lap, but so is everyone else. So let's just look. I mean, we got a lot more medium runners out there, for Black Panther, for example. Polyakov and one kid also switched to mediums. So there's maybe a bit more up the possible than there is shown at the moment, but we're here on board with Black Panther, who invalidated his lap at the moment, and I didn't even pay attention to whether he set a time on the mediums or not. That's good commentating. But Lucho is currently holding the fastest lap. We can just switch to best, maybe. That would make sense. And Lucho set his best time on the medium tires, and as well as Black Panther, with a 134.9. So I for sure hope to see someone going for a 133, especially guys like Daniel Valle. Or Top Tom. He should be able to do that those times, but well, I don't see them up there at the moment. They're not really driving in those positions. And oh, and there we go. There's the first 134.0 from Till or .exe. And we're for sure soon be breaking the 134 mark, because he set his time on 2 laps old medium. So every other good driver, every other fast driver of this split should be able to easily set a lap on the medium tires, which is quicker than that. But you know how it is always in qualifying. You just have those, especially on the mediums. You just have this one chance, this one try, to make it stick. The mediums are a bit more forgiving. You could do another 1 or 2 laps, so one cooldown lap and another hot lap, and the time would still be fast. But though you just got one set of those tires, and I mean, if you go out there and race 2 laps plus about 2 to 3 laps cooldown or warm-up laps, then your tires are pretty done as you start the race, so it may affect your strategy. And currently there are Arsen Kardanov and F1 out there for out laps, but there is something interesting which is called Daniel Valle, who hasn't set a time yet. Calvin has invalidated his lap. Daniel Valle, who hasn't set a time lap, the current, in theory, the net leader of the B split, is out there just a few 90-degree kinks away from the start-finish line, starting his first hot lap in this session with only 4 minutes remaining. Maybe he just thought, well, I just got one try on those mediums, so why try earlier? Let's try at the end when there's more grip. And here we go onto the last corner of the circuit, a bit of a yellow flag there at the end, onto the main straight. With a good start and DRS enabled, we go into the first few bends, even down into third and second, and back onto the pedal, overtaking someone on their slow lap and onto the second DRS straight on the circuit. We got 3 here. Well, the third one is a bit short, I have to say, as well as the start. Well, the start and finish is okay. Oh, here we go down into the second sector already, with Daniel Valle. Maybe try to take a look on board through this very quick section. Take nearly all of the curb there to steer steer less as possible. And then we go down. This is the third DRS straight, and here we go. That's quite a sharp turn. It's a bit more than a 90-degree grease, so it's sometimes a bit surprising that it goes that deep. And here we go for the right-left combination, and then there's the left-right combination, of course, through the tunnel, and then we got another right-left combination, of course using all the curves, even though here you have to be careful with the wall, of course, on the left side, and those two, and there we go. We go into the 33.9s with Daniel Valle on his first outlap, so I think he's kind of okay with that. Till is still in second. Lucho's pulled himself into third, and Arsen Cardinal is just setting an even faster time on his medium tires, where they went 33.8, and times are really really rushing in at the moment. The drivers really want this best spot to start in the Singapore Grand Prix, even though Singapore is a track where overtaking is more possible than on other city circuits like Baku or Monaco. Because Singapore is a bit wider, it has a bit more space, and there are a bit more possibilities to go for it, especially with the long DRS straight, or a lot of DRS straights, which are quite well spread among along the circuit. So there's a lot to see. We got Juarez on a hot lap at the moment. Yeah, until retired from the session. So there's nothing to improve on his time anymore. Polyakov 2, so those 2 times are fixed. Arsen Kardanov on provisional pole into the 133.8s even. And there goes Juarez onto the finish straight. What time is he gonna set? A 135.4. Is it for him? We have a funky on and off lap at the moment. Another one setting his time is Dave Gaming currently. Going through the airpin. And then the second DRS. No, that's the third DRS straight actually. And setting a purple sector 2. Maybe there's a good time in his lap at the moment. Maybe he can snatch away pole position from Arsen. And there goes Lucho. Just a few tenths, just about 0.04 of a second faster than Daniel Valle, and Dave is aborting his lap because I think, no, I don't know, maybe the lap wasn't as good as it should be. Well, he went for the pits. Don't know if he didn't want the tires to be in this condition. He just left them in. But yeah, with Flax's Marcy without a title lap, and Top Tom, of course, didn't follow him around the circuit. Currently in the third sector, about to set a time, and we're going into the 30s, 31, 32, 33, and it's getting a bit close, and is at 33.9, and is just 5th with this time, because we just got a new pole sitter, which is BDG Calvin, with a 133.5. And this is just a 3/10 improvement on Arsene Cardineff, who improved on Daniel Valle. And basically Daniel, who looked safe on pole 2 minutes ago, he's now in 4th position and even theoretically out of the podium range. Not range, but out of the podium. Starting in the 2nd row. But who is there out on track? No, Dylan is left there. Dylan has to complete his lap, then we'll finish it off, and I think Juarez needs to be exactly completely pushed into the pits, and Dylan is just going to pits 2 and retiring, so we don't have to wait that long. And then here we go. Here we have the standings for the Singapore GP. And yeah, we have BDG Calvin in the Mercedes on the pole spot, then Arsene Cardineff next to him, Lucho and Daniel Valle in the 2nd place, in the 2nd row, Top Tom in 5th, Till in 6th, Polyakov and Cortsy in the 4th row, Flaxis Marcy and F1 Kith in 9th and 10th, then BDG Dylan, Black Panther, whereas in 13th, Dave Gaming in 14th, Toastix is 15th, Complacency in 16th, Eagle in 17th, Pitchco, and I couldn't read the last name. Pitchco is completing row number 9, and in row number 10, is it Julian? I think it was Julian, but I'm not sure at the moment, I have to say, to be honest. But let's see, we are going for one of the only night races in the season, so there will be a lot of spotlight on the track, but it will be still at night, so the sky will be pitch black, but maybe there will be clouds at the sky, so maybe from the looks it won't be black, but I don't think the chance for rain is very high here in Singapore, and we're just seeing the pit line, which is completely dry at the moment. I can't really see any clouds on above the paddock, and here we go for the formation lap. Just give me a second to put this back on, and we see Calvin going around, and exactly was Julian on the only one on row 10, going for it, going for the Grand Prix as the last driver on the grid. Here we see the drivers warming up their tires, and as far as I'm concerned, nearly everyone is starting on the mediums. We have 3 drivers on the hard tires who are starting from the back. It is always, I mean, the hard tire is not the optimum to start on, and I think Dylan will realize that at the start, that Black Panther and Warace and Dave and everyone behind him will be faster, and probably most likely will overtake him, but therefore he can run a lot longer. Those predicted pit stop strategies. So we have, as always, the soft medium 2-stopper, or medium soft medium, whatever you want to go for, and it also kind of gave an option for a 2-stopper on a hard But if I were to stop with a hard tire, I would of course choose 2 times the softs on the other way around. But oh well, that's the game. The pit stop predictions aren't that good, and as we just see the drivers coming around the last few corners of the circuit, lining up for the first lap of the 33. And yeah, hopefully giving us an exciting race. 33 is a lot more laps than we had last time in Spa, but that's due to the track is a bit shorter than Spa. Spa is the longest track on the calendar at the moment, or well, it is the longest and it takes the most time to get a lap done, but we are here lining up for the Singapore GP, and we see 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights, 5 lights, and it's the lights out and the way we go, and I don't see anything, but it looks like a good start from Kelvin and Arson. We got battles on backwards at the back there between the Force India and the Williams of Top Tom and Daniel Valley. I think, well, the 2 top drivers in this tier, and the 2 McLarens having a battle as well. Between it isn't decided yet between Top Tom and Daniel. It looks to be, but it isn't. There we go. Top Tom is looking down the inside for another overtake, but that didn't work, and he has now problems with Polyakov currently alongside him, who is also challenging him, even though he wants to do the overtake onto Daniel Valley, and there goes Polyakov past Top Tom. Polyakov now up into 5th place, and behind them the 2 McLarens, who had a bit of a battle at the start, and this is a bit of a tighter section. We will see less overtakes of course there, but here we go instantly back onto the DRS straight, the 3rd one, and there are overtakes possible, especially in the corner afterwards, which is a bit tighter than you expect it to be. But here we go, completing lap number 1 of the Singapore GP, and well, the telemetry just told me that Black Panther is a lot closer than he actually is, as well with Julian, but I think that's just a bit messing around with me. There we go, we got the usual sorting stuff, having the wrong intervals and everything, because that's not what the track looks like. We got Calvin still in 1st, Arson, and then we got an Alfa Romeo from, I don't know, but I think it's Till. No, it's not Till, it's Lucho. Exactly, it's Lucho. Who is in 3rd place, because F1 isn't in 1st, he's in the pit lane. And yeah, it's the messy telemetry as always. I do apologize, but I'm just trying to hold up, get on everything. So there we go. Another time the unnecessary pit stop strategies, and we should be going into lap 3 now every moment, and there the DRS will be activated, even though the game is showing you that we are currently in lap 3, and there we go. We have a kind of a weird overtake, I think, from Polyakov, who's going completely around the outside of the track, around Daniel Valley, but of course didn't manage to overtake. I'm not sure if he has given the position back, but that looked kind of weird to me. And Top Tom has now... No, it's not Top Tom, he's got guys, now we're still Polyakov battling Daniel Valle for third place. Lucio is further up in second place. I think there was telemetry messing around before with us, and here we go. We see Polyakov taking third, and Top Tom wants to give it a shot too, and pushes Daniel Valle to the outside there a bit, and is now in front. And we got it's just a lot of cars going through the same corners trying to take their place in this battle, but we have Polyakov and Top Tom as the winners of it, because Daniel Valle dropped back a bit and he is now in 5th position. But Top Tom and Polyakov were just a bit faster, and we got the first penalty for Corsi. Game now shows us those penalties with this small black and white flag there, but we can also enable a view for the penalties here in the menu, and there we go, another overtake. Flexus Marcy has overtaken Till, but Till doesn't want to settle it there, goes down the inside into the first turn, and there's already his team colleague on his back. No, Till isn't past him. It looked like it, but as both of them were fighting, we got the Red Bull onto the back of the McLaren. Of course he is, I think. Now Till dropped back further. He doesn't want to give up though, but looks like he's slower than both of the McLarens. And there's a lot of touching, 3 wide through there, hitting the wall, and that was a bit over. Oh, nearly lost it there, Dylan. Nearly lost it, and there we go. 2 wide, and that's carnage. Black Panther turning, losing his car, and going into the wall. Hope he got it back, but he has severe front wing damage, I think. Yes, there's basically no front wing existent anymore. But let's take a look further at the front again, because they're still fighting for it. They still don't want to give each other any position. And so let me switch back to the tire view, and we see Complacency went to the soft tire, so he's probably heading for a 2-stop or even 3-stop strategy. Most likely 2-stop, because 3 stops would be a bit unnecessary. And we have a safety car phase, first one. So basically, what can we expect is maybe a mass pit stop, maybe not. It's pretty early in the race, so I don't think that pitting now is a very wise decision. And the safety car is already over. It wasn't a virtual safety car, was it? Ah, can't really take a look at that right now. Oh yes, it was a virtual safety car. I'm just stupid. And back into the race was just a virtual safety car, so forget about pitting. Just a virtual safety car. That's not much. There's not much to think about pitting, especially that early on the race. Most of the guys have just 4 laps old mediums or hards, so they will go a lot longer to reach their pit stop window. But the closest battle we currently have is Julian to Toastix, who are battling for place number 10, and right in front of them are Pitchko and Weres also battling. A bit of a 4-way group, nearly 5-way. Dave is a bit in front, and with both of them battling, with all 4 of them battling, he will have a bit of a benefit if it gets to the battles, which I'm just hoping for. And we got no, there's no overtake. Polyakov is just heading into the pits with 4 laps of mediums. Don't know what's wrong there. Don't see any damage on the front wing. Did he get a drive-through penalty? It looks like, yes. It Looks like he got a drive-through penalty, not sure for what. But that drops him far back at the grid. 11th place, and that's far away from where he started from. But we have still a long way to go. Even though he dropped that far back, he could make some places again. I mean, I don't think he will make it back up to the podium spots, but well, I don't know what the drive-through penalty was for, but well, I think it was it should be deserved. I don't know about the game. The game always, not always, but does give stupid penalties a lot. And well, here we go. We are in lap 6, so there's still a few laps to go until the first pit stops. And oh, we got somebody spun around there. I think it's Polyakov again. He just went for the pits and now he spun. That's not a good start, and he lost his front wing end plate. His right side end plate is missing and nearly hitting the wall again there. I think he barely touched it with his left rear tire. But he's still going for it, but I don't know if I mean, you should go for the pits again, even though he was just in the pit line, not for pitting, but for having a drive-through penalty. But let's get back to the battles. We have Julian close to Worries still. Those are basically the only battles, and there we see Polyakov going into the pits. And there goes Julian down the inside with a bit of lockup, but still gets past on the hard tires, even though Worries was on the 6th lap of mediums. Very good from Julian there, even though he started from the back of the grid. I don't know, is he just that bad in qualifying, or why is he suddenly that fast in the race? But back here we also see Toe Sticks battling Worries. We saw him earlier on in this 4-way battle, I think with Pitchko, but Pitchko lost gained a bit of time to the rest of this battling group, and has now a moderate gap to his opponent behind and to Dave in front. Well, of course, Julian wants to decrease that gap, wants to get closer, wants to get into a fight, especially because Pitchko and Julian are most likely at least on the same strategy. And then we see Worries heading into the pits for a pit stop with onto the hard tires already, and that drops him further back, but that leads to Toe Sticks, I think, having no problem with trying to overtake someone anymore, having to overtake someone anymore. But Julian is closing into Pitchko and is now in the half a second window. You see back down there, BGG Dylan is really close to the AlphaTauri of Eagle and gets past. It's really hard to Williams and the AlphaTauri looking nearly the same. To oh, and Polyakov retired. I think he just had enough from his front wing damage, from his drive-through penalty, and dropping down the whole grid was enough for him to quit the game. But back up to Julian. We still got him close to Pitchko, not really in the overtaking range anymore, but they're on the same strategy basically. And there we go, the top spots are pitting. Kardinov is putting on hard tires. There they go. The rest of the field is also. So Black Panther and who were we just watching? Black Panther also just pitted, but I was talking of somebody else who also just pitted. What race was it exactly? And we got a safety car. I'm really lost, I have to say. I don't realize safety cars, and I don't know why. Most likely because I'm solo commentating today, but there we go. I finally noticed as soon as somebody's nearly driving into the safety car that we got a safety car situation, and that's why most of the drivers went for the pits already. Looked a bit early to me, and we'll go seeing the drivers line up behind the safety car. You have now basically just Julian, who sneaked in front of all the other podium sitters, whether they're Arson K, Lucio Top Tom, Daniel Valle. Those 4 people are basically position 1 to 4 before Julian went in front of them, because I think probably nearly everyone else except for Calvin went for the pits as well. And there we go. We've got Pitchco on a medium tire. I don't know which tire it was on before, but it's way too early for driving until the end with the medium tires. He's probably going for a 2-stop, going onto the hard tires, not the hard, onto the soft ones at the end of the race. Well, here we go. I'm not sure how long the safety car will sail, but we see a train of cars forming. We're just waiting basically for Black Panther to get back up to the end of safety car, and here we see the excessive weaving in search for tire temperature. It's still way easier than if it would be in a wet. Keeping wet tires hot on a wet track is pretty hard, and driving slow with a safety car, well, that doesn't really make it easier. But even in normal conditions, well, I can't really say sunny because it's nighttime, so there is no sun. But it's still warm, and well, the track is at least dry, so there is nothing which will cool down the tires. And we're just waiting. Line behind the safety car is slowly getting a bit bigger. Those two guys, Eagle and F1 Kit, are slowly getting closer, and we'll most likely catch them really soon. We're just waiting in complacency, Black Panther, so probably the safety car is going for another lap. It's about most common time is goes for 3 laps, except the line has formed very quick, so basically either everyone went for a pit stop or no one, which is unlikely in a safety car situation. But if the strategy is just, well, for example, if everyone just pitted, then pitching again in a safety car is, well, it's a risk you can take as a back marker, but not really as a leading car. Except the guy behind you is also going for a pit stop, but the problem is, as you notice that someone behind you went for the pit stop, it's probably too late for you. So here we go for another lap. Lights are still on the safety car, and think the light was green before, so that meant that the lapped cars can pass the safety car. Everyone else has to stay behind. And I think that is the reason why Black Panther is so far behind than everyone else. And there he goes. He gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's look how much we got already. 6 seconds for Black Panther and the drive-through for Flexus Marcy, which he has to... he has 3 laps left as soon as the safety car comes in to serve that penalty. So he can decide when to come in, but he has to very soon. And we already did see the drivers being excited for the restart again. They want to go racing again. It's pretty boring to just drive a few slow laps behind the safety car, and especially Julian is now under high pressure, being with 10 laps hard. They're directly behind a safety car, and that will not give him the advantage. It will more give the advantage to Arsen and everyone behind him. But if he gets a really good start out of turn 1, well, he maybe can hold the lead for a bit longer. He will fall back due to pit stops later on, but that's nothing that matters at the moment, I think. And we just saw the lights went out. It's slowing down for the drivers to let the safety car get into its garage. And this is always a bit of a exciting time, especially for the drivers, because everyone is going really slow. You don't want to hit anybody, and you have to, because Julian is setting the pace. He can drive at any pace he wants to, but here he goes, accelerating and going for it. But it looks like Arsen had a very much better start than him. We just go for it. Then we see 3 wide battles into the back with the McLarens going on. Julian seemed to have a quite well start there, even though it looked like he would be overtaken pretty soon. We see a lot of carnage. We see there Dave Gaming trying an overtake. There's the McLaren of Cordsey who goes past Toastix, I think. And we still see there at the back battles ongoing between Dylan and Till, still side by side, even through this tighter section of the course. And now we'll get into the Kings, and there says Dylan, no, just let me stay behind. We don't want to risk too much here. But the safety car has one advantage, and that is that it brings the drivers closer together again. And we're just in lap 12, so we're not even halfway done with the race. And we see that Arsen is faster than Julian. He just needs the right opportunity to overtake. And we'll be soon heading back onto the main straight, so DRS will be activated there. He got a nearly full battery of ERS, but as well as Julian, and he is already using a bit of it. Because we just had the safety car phase, so well, ERS should be high at nearly everyone's, because it should be recharged in the safety car phase. And we have a bit of a change there. Pitchco does an overtake on Flexus Marcy, and maybe see here a bit changing. Let's stay at the front for now, because we got Arsen K crawling in there, driving in the gearbox of the Haas. And he really wants that spot right there, but this section now is tighter and overtakes are harder there. You could only go for it if you have a way better exit out of a turn. But especially going too wide here is extremely dangerous, because it's basically just not possible to drive a much different line with two cars alongside, because one of them will be way faster and the other one will have to slow way down, will have to slow down way more, which will probably cause a crash between them and a car behind. What we see there, Toe 6 is getting ready for an overtake too. At least he looks like it. Falling into the back of the McLaren. And still got no movement there in the positions. But, well, we have to say our drivers are racing on the top level. I mean, of course, we got the A split above us, having not way more, but having better drivers, which are setting even faster times, which are world-class speed. And we're here in just the B split, but those guys are really fast too, and you shouldn't underestimate what is actually happening here. Pitch go there with a try onto Calvin. Not really getting it done. Wasn't really a good way. Got a bit out of the track limits. Don't know if he got a warning for that, but well, he stays in the back of Calvin for now. And oh, and R17 made it in front of Julian. Didn't even notice that, but well, it was about time to happen, and well, it wouldn't even matter that much. But the thing is, now that R17 is passed, he can maybe build a little bit more gap to Lucho, because Lucho is still to overtake Julian, and R17 has, well, a free road ahead. But I don't know if the Lucho-Julian situation will take that much longer, because we're here going down the main straight with DRS activated, and we'll soon see, hopefully, an overtake, because, well, you could also just go for waiting and yeah, sitting behind him until he finally goes into the pits, but no, Lucho doesn't want that. He goes down the inside and makes the move stick, and, well, Lucho shouldn't be the only one, says Top Tom, and goes instantly alongside Julian. First round the outside, next corner around the inside. That's the thing, when you plan your overtake wisely and makes the move stick. So there we go, Julian now back down to 4th. He still needs to pit in a few laps probably, but he gave his best there at the front, had a few laps in the lead, and we'll be soon at the half of the race, which should be about next lap. Lap 16, we should complete half of the race distance, and we still got pretty tight battles ongoing. At the back, the gaps formed a bit more than at the front. The drivers at the front are just much closer, and the Pitchko, for example, is just on medium tires, so he should be a bit quicker than the others on the hard. And whereas, for example, he hasn't had an easy race so far too, is on the soft tire, but I can assure you that isn't going to last until the end, which needs him to make a 3rd stop, but maybe that's the only possibility he sees. He dropped down 4 places at the moment. As the biggest winner, we can at the moment say that Julian is it, but well, Julian has still to pit as explained before, and Pichko is way up the standings too. Let's see, he's on a medium tire, so he went for one pit stop, he needs to go for another. That will be probably in about 6 laps or a bit longer if he wants to try to go on the soft tire. But then he has to be careful with his medium tires on the track now. And here we go for another lap. And as you can see, Arsen really pulled out a gap to Lucho. He's about 2 seconds away from him now. So DRS won't be activated anymore, but Lucho still got Top Tom in the back, who is still near, he's still just in the 1 second window. Differs a bit from time to time, of course, but he sure needs to keep that pace up, because else he will drop out of the DRS window, which will let him lose a lot of time. And we are in another safety car period. This time I noticed earlier on than last time, even though it wasn't as quick as it should be. And well, there are of course now a few possibilities. I mean, you could try and go onto the medium tires now, but it will be a long way until the end. It will be a long way. And maybe it's something for the back markers, for the guys of 10th place or lower, but I'm not sure if anyone at front is going for it. Maybe Julian, because he's already on 16 laps hard. He would need to go for the pit stop anyway. All of the other drivers wouldn't need another pit stop. And with that second DRS phase at the moment now, actually we got no lapped cars, so well, the safety car will never be like have the green light lit. I mean, it should have at the moment, standing there after turn number 3, if I can count correctly. As that kink also counted as a corner? It is. It actually is. So it's after turn number 4, not anymore now. And there we go. The safety car with the AI burnt Mylander driving around the Singapore circuit. Would be nice to see the drifting burned in the game too, but I don't think that Codemasters programmed that into the game. But yeah, there we go. Almost the whole 1 to 10 grid lined up behind the safety car. The rest is still to follow. We got a few medium stoppers, as I said. Julian is going for it, trying it. Well, you got the safety car period now, so that spares a bit of your tire, and then there are about 11 laps left, I think, as soon as the restart goes off, and then we'll be going for it again. But also interesting to see, unless last time we got way more penalties, especially on the front grid. From Arsen to Dave, first to fifth, we got no penalties. And I have to say, Dave is doing a really great job. With 9 places up, I mean Julian is also 9 places up, so I should say the same. Julius also doing a nice job. But the thing is, both of them now places up in the race at the moment, and if they can hold the position there, Well, that would be a really nice finish. And I think especially for Dave, now giving kind of his real debut, showing that he still has something to hold. And, well, I don't know, maybe he can involve himself into the fight for the podium. Because especially it's a bit unfortunate for Arson, because he just made himself a 2-second gap to Lucho, so he has a bit of a security, of safety to his win, that he can make it stick. But now this gap is back down to half a second. It's back to a few inches. Lucho leaves him behind the safety car, and well, we are just waiting for the restart. And we then have to see. I mean, what will the restart bring us? I don't know, but Arson did a good job last time, or looked to do a good job, because he was faster than Julian. Yes, Julian was in front back then. He was faster than Julian was, but he lifted a bit. And we got an overtake on the safety car. Doesn't look right. Doesn't look right, but that's the game. We got a severe collision. Don't know what happened there, but that's what safety car situations sometimes are like, especially in the game. I mean, we saw Russell's crash at Imola, if I'm correct. This should be Imola. And we see a few more. Julian is dropping down. Why did he drop down the whole grid? He tries to retake his position, but why did he drop down so far? I mean, we have to concentrate now onto the restart, because safety car switched his lights off, and we got RSK leading the group into another restart, which will most likely be as chaotic as the one before. And as long as the telemetry gives me the possibility, I'll try to talk over it. But here we go for the last turn. For the bit of braking you have to do there, and RSK is hitting the gas, going around the last few bends, and we have less side by side than before. Just Calvin is heading for an overtake, and I don't know, but I think Eagle is too. And we have a lot more side by side action now down into turns 1 to 4. And the Renault of Pitchko looks a bit slow. He slotted way behind there. Don't know why. Maybe they had to let Julian pass, but I'm not sure about that. And now we're seeing the overtake from Calvin, and they're making it stick. And the guys in front, they're still holding it together. I mean, Kutsi is taking a look onto an overtake, onto Dave, but the guys in front are also not really calm, sitting on hot ice, which doesn't make sense, but it's currently Daniel Valley. He's trying to get the position back from Top Tom, because as far as I know, no, Daniel Valen started in second, but Top Tom wants to get this position. No, Top Tom has also gained 2 places, exactly. Top Tom qualified a bit more down the order, and the actual pole sitter was... What was the actual pole sitter? I think it was Calvin, because he slotted down 5 places. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, exactly. It was Calvin, who's now unfortunately just in 6th, which is still good position, but just not good enough for him. And here he goes alongside Dave Gaming, setting up his overtake around the outside, and already makes it stick before the corner. So not much battling going on there through corners, just a way better exit out of turn number 3. Made his move stick, and he will for sure try to retake his starting position, retake his just too stupid to set up the in-game telemetry to retake his pole position place to win this Singapore GP. Because as far as I know, Calvin is also racing for already a while in ORL, but I am actually not sure if I've seen him that far up in the championship standings. Actually, as far as these standings you go, he just was there in the last race and finished 8th there. So 4th, or well, a pole position, and now being 4th in the race are a pretty good thing. And just notice I missed the overtake onto Daniel Valle, which was quite crucial, but I was I was busy with the facts. Well, that's the thing if you're doing it alone. Didn't even mention that Cisco isn't there today. I don't know why, but I was told I have to go for it alone. So here we go. You see just Julian and Calvin is doing another overtake while I'm away with the camera. I mean, he has the tires for it. He's going on the mediums, which are basically not 3 laps but 2 or 1 lap old. I think about 2 laps should be right, because of the safety car. Where is he dropping back because he's going for another pit stop. And as well did F1 Kip and Pitchko with brand new tires, and 26 was pitting too. And well, we still have this extremely tight battle between Calvin and Lucho. And the thing is, Calvin has a really good chance on a podium spot, but he needs to keep in mind that he can't just ruin his medium tires. I mean, of course, the guys on the hards are way slower than him because the hards are already 12 laps old, and the hard is, as a new tire, not very grippy, and 13 laps old now. He kind of isn't grippy at all anymore. So those guys need to be aware of everything, and obviously can of course occur a lot more often. But here we go, Calvin is going for the overtake on the longest straight and does it before the corner beautifully done, and is now up into 2nd place, and now it's up to him to close in the gap between him and R17, because Lucho wasn't able to all the time. And then we go, Till is dropping down the order. What happened there? Tosix gets the penalty for speeding in the pit lane, and we can finally take a look at the battle back here, because Calvin will need a few laps to close into R17. And here we go, we have a battle between Black Panther and Flexus Marcy. Black Panther is at the moment the man in front, but Flexus Marcy won't leave it there. Goes down the inside and going side by side. He now has the outside around the next car. No, he has the inside. Never mind. And there he goes for a spin. That was just wanted too much. I'm not sure. I don't think there was much contact between both of them, and not much contact which caused this collision. It's just a bit too aggressive there. And in the meantime, Calvin just made over half a second onto R17, current race leader, and will be soon in DRS range. So basically, I think in the third DRS straight, he should be able to get DRS onto R17, and that will most likely mean having the lead. having the win isn't sure yet because his medium tires will degrade, and I don't know how well he managed them because well, he doesn't need to push that hard because those guys are on mediums. But here we go. Black Panther goes a bit wide there, and Julian just takes the opportunity for an overtake and is passed there in 8th place. A bit of an unfortunate situation for Black Panther there. And here going for lap 24 already, and well, it really looks like the strategy from Julian and Calvin have made it through the grid, because I mean, especially Calvin is really gaining places on those medium tires, and the safety car was really the only thing which gave him the opportunity to come back at those front runners. Because at the beginning it seemed that him dropping down would mean, well, he isn't there in the fight anymore, but we are here. Daniel Vella getting a 3-second time penalty. Now also the top spots have their first penalties, but Calvin can't yet make the move stick. It's still a tough job to overtake Arsen, even though you're on the medium tires. I mean, we've just seen that Lucho is just way slower than Arsen. Yeah, Arsen pulled out the 2-second gap in like 2 laps again. I mean, of course, Lucho was in the end also battling with Calvin, but though Arsen is way faster than Lucho, we see he has almost a 4-second gap to Lucho now, adding Calvin and Lucho's interval times together. And Calvin is really risking it all here. We just saw him a bit having a bit of an oversteer. In fact, wanted to go somewhere else where it shouldn't, and we have a yellow flag for the racing point there of toe 6, I think should be, yes. And I just wanted to say Force India, but those times aren't anymore. Those times are over, at least for now. We don't know if they make a comeback. But we're now going for lap 26, and Calvin has still to make that overtake stick. In the meantime, I don't know if we should stay in Calvin, because it doesn't really look like, even though we're on the main straight now, he could make the overtake stick, but he's at least going alongside, and that's going to be a close one, and he just about gets it through the inside. Beautiful overtake, another line than usual. A bit of a dangerous move, but still in the end was worth it. Made it past, and now Calvin is in front and can build up his lead. And now we can switch back to Till, who's also pretty close, as well as Daniel Valla, I have to say. He's pretty close to Top Tom again. But maybe we'll see an overtake here. The Alfa Romeo against the McLaren. Saw there in the back, Flex Marcy's also looking for an overtake, but those two are getting really close. There Till goes for a look, goes back behind, goes for another look, but it isn't enough at the moment. And here is Flex's Marcy as close as Till. Nearly hold a sheet of paper between both of those cars. It's just really amazing tide racing there. Alexis Marcy wants to do that overtake onto Dylan, and he will get the opportunity, possibly, on the main straight, because he is so close. He has to get it with DRS. Only major defending from Dylan will not bring that to him, but it seems Dylan made a good job, or Flexmaster just went for the wrong decision in the attack. And well, there they go onto the big straight. But seems to me that Marcy dropped a bit back, and we will see a little overtake from Pitchco onto Eagle. Made it in front and is fighting further up to places already on 4 laps old softs. Those should degrade now pretty quickly. Vietnam is really a tire consuming track, so that's why most of the drivers went for the hard medium option and not for a soft at all. And here we go, Flax's Master is as close as before, trying it again, and that did look like a bit of contact to me, but I'm not sure about that. We do not get the best of perspectives here, but they're somehow managing it to get through this. Oh, and a massive crash there. That was just a bit trying a bit too much, I have to say. He squeezed Dylan there into the wall, nearly lost his tire, and well, not only his tire, his complete suspension and everything, and also Dylan's were nearly completely lost, and well, that's pits for both of them. Ooh, nearly spinning around there again. So we are going into another safety car phase. This time I realized earlier, because I also saw the crash. And well, I think that's good for Calvin because he can spare his tires a bit more. That we see the green light on the safety car, which means that you are allowed to pass as a lapped or car behind. For example, people like Black Panther, I think you just passed exactly, and Dylan can also just pass the safety car. They don't need to wait for the other drivers. The safety car is waiting for the race leader to start his laps, and the race leader is going through the last left right right left combinations, and under the tunnel, and oh, looks like Arson did a spin there. Not sure about that, but he stopped. He was a bit slow there, and that will be now interesting. Arson is going into the pits. Interesting. Going for probably the fastest lap of the race there, with another set of softs. Doesn't really, well, think about the points. I mean, coming home in second is still way better than coming home in fifth, even though you get the fastest time. Kurtz retired. Where did he do? In the pit lane. I don't know why, but he was in 22 laps old hards, and well, most of the guys are now getting into the 20 lap old hards, and but the hards can do that far. And I mean, we had already, I think, just one safety car phase where those guys had sorry, had the hards already on. You gotta stay hydrated, even if you're commentating, not only if you're driving, or else you'll get a really sore. And yeah, here we go for a few laps of safety car. I don't know what the game does if the race would finish under a safety car, but the game just decides against it and sends the safety car instantly in. So there is basically no line to form, and I think that's just due to codemasters wanting to integrate something a bit more complex with the safety car staying out and the race being 1 lap longer or something. There we go. Calvin has the 3rd restart of the day, and Till gets a 5-second penalty for a collision with Dave Gaming. And I have to say, Calvin is really slow, but he can say when it's pedal to the metal. And there we go. For the 3rd restart of the day, we see Daniel Valle had quite a good start, but Arsen's start was a bit better. I mean, Daniel Valle went onto the soft tires as well as Arsen, and they want to make it stick for the last 2 laps we have left. They want to gain as much positions as possible. I mean, there will be a lot of possibilities because all the other drivers are on, well, I think the only thing to say is on completely screwed tires. And there we go, there we just see Arsen and Daniel Valle nearly, touching there. Daniel wants his place from Arsen. And those two are overtaking kind of together, all those drivers, because they can just go that much faster through all of the track with their fresh soft tires. But there's just not enough space for all of them, because, well, overtaking somebody and then going 3 wide because there's another car is a hard thing to do. And here we go. Here you go, Arsen and Valle past Julian. Now back up into 4th and 5th, and they knew they could do something on the soft tires. They for sure won't be able to get back to Calvin, because Calvin is already 1.5 seconds away from Lucho, and Arsen and Daniel still have to overtake Top Tom and Lucho, but this makes everything much more intense. I mean, Arsen is now overtaking Top Tom, 3rd on the podium, is on the podium and gets 3rd, and that won't be the end. I mean, he will for sure make this move now, stick around turn number 5, going onto the straight, onto the long straight of the track, and well, he just about doesn't manage to get past, but gets Daniel Valle an opportunity for an overtake because he had a bit of contact. Oh, and nearly a spin there. He had a bit of contact with Top Tom, which forced him to go a wider line, and he lost a lot of time there. And therefore Arsen now dropping down, even though he was 2nd, I think, on the grid. Yes, he was. And maybe we can now take a short look at the penalties. I mean, Black Panther has 17 seconds, but Top Tom has 6. That means Daniel Valle is passed no matter what he does. And Lucho will win in terms of penalties because he got none. This will be interesting at the end of the race. This will be pretty interesting because Lucho is still in this 3-second window. Daniel Valle is also in the 3-second window of Top Tom, maybe even making the overtake stick. And if Daniel Valle gets to no, he doesn't. And there we go. Calvin crosses the line in 1st. But as I said, Lucho will not get the position. Calvin will not get the position. Lucho will win the Grand Prix. Calvin is 2nd, and Julian is in 3rd place. I am actually at the moment not sure what the maths was behind that, but I can only explain with everyone else having penalties, Daniel Valle, Arsen, Top Tom, and Dave and Julian having none. A beautiful race, exciting until the end, especially at the end, with 3 safety cars. I think one in lap 6, another one in lap 12, was it? No, it was later on. It was about lap 20. It was lap 19, I think, and the one in lap 28. And there we go. Here we have your race 2nd. On-track winner, but unfortunately due to penalties in 2nd place. Julian gets driver of the day. I think that is deserved because he really fought his way up there onto third. He was leading the race even for a few laps, but he started from way the back and just had no penalties and therefore fought his way up. Here we see Lucho winning the Vietnam Grand Prix, and of course Calvin, who won on track, but unfortunately he got a penalty and therefore lost his position. Here we go. Here we see it. Calvin has a 3-second penalty. Julian and Dave had no penalties at all, and therefore could just swap before Daniel Valle and Top Tom. Top Tom had 6 seconds, so therefore he even dropped behind Arsen, even though Arsen had this little mistake earlier. And well, that's our that's finish. We have Top Tom in 7th, then Till in 8th, Flexus Marcy in 9th, Dylan in 10th. Or did I say Dylan earlier? I meant Calvin, of course. Calvin is on the podium, not Dylan. Then we have Pitchco in 11th with the fastest lap, I think. Yes, with a 1:35.9. Black Panther, War Ace, Eagle, F1 Kid, Complacency, Toasty Kurtzi, and Polyakov. That was an intense one, and I hope we will be getting some drivers for the interview. So therefore I'm just switching back here, and we have a tag. That's not for me. And I think we had a bit of a mess in the F1, the A split, F1 split, but we are now we see already the first reports first people want to report, guys, and I will be back. I'll just have to quickly use the bathroom, so just give me a minute, guys, and I'll be back with the stream, and we're going for interviews.
User disconnected from your channel.
Hallo? Okay. Alles klar. Hallo? Hallo? Okay. So there we are back again, and we are now for sure heading for, not for stream is ending, for the interview exactly. I think Lucho is already waiting for us. Hello there.
Hello.
So just give us a minute. I'll just um want to try to get some more guys into the interviews,
Yeah, sure.
and then I kind of have to get an overview again over the race because it was pretty wild, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was so hectic. Yeah.
Yeah, 3 safety cars.
Yeah.
Hello there, Black Panther.
Good evening.
Good evening.
So, who was on the top steps? It was Calvin, actually Lucho, Calvin, and
Julian or something.
yes, Julian, exactly. So, oh wait, wrong chat. Who can you get in, Panther?
I will try my best to get some people in.
Yeah, hopefully. So. But, well, I think in the meantime we'll already start with Lucho. So maybe we'll get some more guys later on in the in the voice channel. So Lucho, first of all, congrats to your victory. I think it's your first, is it right?
It's my first, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Was a really tough race. A lot of safety cars, a lot of struggling. Tell me, when did you know you won? Was it just as you crossed the line, or did you know about the penalty?
I knew about it, but I knew it before the last safety car that all the guys around me had penalties. But I thought I wasn't going to win, was because I think the first one got 3 seconds and he was 4 seconds ahead of me. So, and he was pulling away at that time. So I thought I wasn't going to win. But then after the safety car, I thought, yeah, I was going to win this. So I was just kept my head down and just focused. Don't make any mistakes. Don't make any penalties, because I had 0 warnings. So I'm very proud of that, of course. So yeah, it was so insane, yeah, to crossing the line and finish first and get my first ORL win.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pretty good race from you with 0 warnings.
Yes.
You were third in qualifying, and then you were always into those on those podium spots, battling with well, Calvin was he was on pole at the beginning, but he saw a bit down then. But we had always fights with Daniel Valle, Top Tom, and R17, I think.
Yeah.
And yeah, how was the whole race for you? The first, basically, the phase from start to the second safety car was a pretty tough one.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, my start was pretty decent, but I saw like Top Tom, the Williams, had a better start behind me. So I tried to block the inside just, and he overtook the race support it was, and then I had Top Tom for like the whole race in my gearbox. So it was pretty intense. So I was so concentrated to not make any mistakes, but also keep him behind, because yeah, he was pretty fast.
Yeah, and we had, I think, enough incidents on the track today to well, we don't want any more. With 3 safety cars, that's already a lot. And I mean, the last one already came in a bit early because of the race was ending. I think Copenhagen was just a bit too lazy to add some complex things to give like another lap if the safety car is going until the end.
Yeah, true. Yeah, there's I think it's a thing in the game that if there's a last call safety car, the last two laps will be green flag racing. So
yes,
I knew about that. So
yeah, so but therefore we got some racing at the end, which was really interesting and was really nice. I mean, we got, for example, who slotted behind later on, Daniel Valle and R17, who pitted on the softs and then came back. I mean, R17 had a bit of contact with Top Tom, I think, and therefore he couldn't gain that much places. But
Hello.
hello there, Julian, in third. Yeah, I wasn't really aware of you getting on the podium until the end. I was just trying to look at the penalties, but I didn't think you were slotting past Daniel Valle and I think this was just Daniel Valle in front of you. Should have that in mind. But first of all, congrats to your third place.
Thank you.
How is the race from your perspective? I mean, I think you were on the other strategy. You went on the hard first.
Yeah, it was very weird at the start because I was quick, but it was a very hard DRS train. I can't overtake most of people, and then yes, he pitted, and the safety car came very unlucky for me because I got the hard tires. And then, yeah, the second safety car saved my race, and that's the podium.
Yeah, and you got the restart onto in the lead.
Yeah, that was very stupid because safety car was so slow, and I thought I can the pace on, and yes,
Yeah,
it was very unlucky.
I saw you guys were basically driving next to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you were then dropping back, I think a few places after the second safety car.
Yeah, because I spun because
Ooh.
I want to heat my tires, and it was 80 degrees, and yes, then I spun. I was P13, I think, and then yes, I could overtake most people, and this time penalty saved my race at the end of the race, and the podium. I'm very happy.
Yeah, the time penalty really saved you and Dave Gaming the day, getting in third and fourth. Another thing, next track is Russia. We're going to Sochi. What do you think about it?
Sochi is a very nice track. Not so nice than last year because you can cut like last year the curves because they are much higher. That's not so good for me, but it's like Singapore, higher curbs, and I think if I can drive, I would, and maybe we can see what I can do if I drive the qualifying. Today I think I had to go for top 5, but you can see you can go on the podium from P19.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
safety cars are very random. First safety car unlucky, second was then lucky.
Yeah, you nearly made the Vettel of last year's Germany.
Yes.
But we would need one more driver for that, so... Like Panther, where are drivers? Alright then. Congrats again to the victory and the third place, the podium, to you two guys. And Black Panther, is there anyone who wants to come?
I don't think I got anyone else to join in.
Alright then, I think we'll just gonna leave it with that. And yeah, so join us next week, guys. Follow ORL on Twitter and YouTube. The links are down below, and yeah, we'll see us next week in Russia, going for round 18.
And by the way, congrats to the win.
Thank you, mate.
Exactly. Then, bye bye, have a great night, and until next week.